Okay. O'Reilly, I see you're front and center at ease. Can you hear me, Nelia?
Yes, I can hear you.
I was on mute because I was running my mouth with Henry. And let's see, where did I put you? There you are. Okay, so I sent out the link, and you obviously got yours. Let's see if anybody else gets theirs. Uh, oh, I know who else. Okay. I didn't put it on Facebook. I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, God.
Um, no, no, You don't know what I went through with this computer just a couple of hours ago. My gosh. For a minute there, I thought I'd have to be doing this from my phone. Uh, the computers have not been very friendly today.
No, they're on strike.
Is that what it is? Well, they didn't get my permission for a strike.
Yeah.
You know, they should have asked me, as I thought I had lost about 30,000 words out of my. I'm working on the rough draft for my dissertation, and which is not needed to be known, but since I'm already on the air, I suppose it doesn't make a bit of difference. But I almost sat here and cried like a baby because I had been working so hard on this thing, and for it suddenly to disappear, not disappear, it was
We're
incredible.
gonna have to go back to the old fashioned way where you just pencil and paper, just write it. I mean, it's crazy.
That would, I mean, I could deal with pencil and paper.
It's like after the flood. We're
That's
back to after the flood.
okay. After the flood. Oh my goodness. But anyway, let's see. I put it in. Okay, now it's in Messenger.
I
Uh,
got my link at about 8:26, so people might just be getting theirs, depending on how fast their internet is.
okay. Well, I am going to do something I haven't done in a while, and that is my Om Namah Shivaya. And I really need that.
Can you hear Lily coughing?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's why I was on mute because she's coughing and following me around.
Oh, oh, poor baby.
So yeah, I'm here. I'm just, I don't want her to interrupt anything.
Well,
She's following me around.
oh,
Poor baby.
I know, I know. Okay, there we go. So we've got that started, and very good, very good. And I don't have time to read Facebook, which I don't usually read anyway. But it's all good. And now we are. Okay, excellent. I'm sorry that she's still coughing.
Oh my God.
Um,
Well, the lady told me that she started coughing more when I got in, and she was the first one waiting for me. I think part of it is emotional.
okay, all right. Well, we'll hold her in the light. We hold a lot of people in the light today. That's one of the things I did on the radio this morning. And so I'm going to get started with the Om Namah Shivaya, just to set the pace of the energy. And I don't know if you can hear the Tibetan bowl.
I heard, yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to interrupt that, so I'm gonna mute.
That's all right.
Take it off when.
Om Namah Ya Shiva Aya. Oh, oh, Om Namah Shiva Aya. Oh, oh, Om Namah Shivaya. 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 I am smiling at myself because my energy is really not doing what it usually does. It's been a long day, and this is just to help shorten the time. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Okay. And breathe. And you are going to hear me in the background clicking at this point because I have a feeling that perhaps some people have not yet gotten the link. And so let's see what's going on. And did you have questions already put aside, Nelia?
No.
Okay. Okay. Um, Okay. Nelia, can you read this? Yes, I can. Can you hear me? Just put yay or nay as to whether or not you can hear me. Okay. I understand why you want to do that. I'm sorry she's still not feeling well. Oh, poor baby. Well, I we can say a little prayer for her right now. Just not even a prayer. We just envision her being in the light. And for anyone who has a major challenge, whether it's an ongoing challenge or something that has just suddenly popped up, we want to put this, whether or not we decide or declare ourselves to be light workers. It's just, it's something that we do. So we take a deep breath, holding for the count of 3, releasing through parted lips, and we breathe. At this point in time, I would suggest, if your eyelids are just lowered, not necessarily closed, breathe, holding it in through the nostrils, taking in that marvelous, wondrous oxygen, breath of life. And we breathe. And in breathing, in through the nostrils, holding for the count of 3, releasing through parted lips, palms resting gently. Knowing that your palms are up, the light of divine source as it comes through your heart, it resonates through the palms, surrounding you in the most positively luxurious light that you can possibly imagine. And breathe. Breathing in through the nostrils, holding again, this time for the count of 7. And as you breathe, allowing yourself the most magnificent, deep dwelling of breath, allowing the abdomen to extend, expand as you take in the oxygen, the air, the breath of life, and breathe. Breathe again. And this time, as you release the breath calmly through parted lips, and visualize that light that has generated from your heart to the palms and portals, chakras in your feet, between your toes, surrounding you, spiraling upward, allowing it to release through the crown chakra, allowing yourself to be in place, fully aligned, and breathe. At this moment in time, direct your eyes behind your eyelids upwards, as far up as you possibly can. You're aiming for the middle portal between your eyebrows, allowing yourself to resonate with what's called the third eye. Breathing in deeply, allowing that flow of energy that has already come forth from the heart, resonating through the palms, spiraling upwards and upward to the third eye, and breathe. And breathe again. You are radiating this light through divine love. That sensation of love in the midst of your heart. Focus upon that now, allowing yourself to breathe. And when it is your heart's desire, open your eyes, allowing yourself to feel that energy, that light, that love that is yours. Namaste. Good evening, Reverend Robert Ray.
Good evening, love.
How art thou?
Oh, let's move to the next question. I've had a rough 24 hours.
Oh, it seems to be going around. I think, what is it? This is the last Monday in the month of October?
Yep.
Okay. Didn't I tell you October has yet to become my favorite month?
Next Monday is the last Monday.
This is Nelia.
Hi,
Robert, you remember?
Robert.
I know you remember. Okay.
Feeling so much better, thank you.
Oh, God, I'm so happy to hear this, Nelia. I'm so happy to hear this. The technique that I use is so powerful. I'm so thankful to possess the skill to bring healing.
She has been bragging about how much better she feels. She hadn't slept in ages. I think I texted you. She hadn't slept, and she went home and slept like a baby, and just fantastic.
Yeah, and it's cumulative. It kind of like it got better as time passed.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, no.
It was a time.
It does. It does. It precipitates changes that get better and better and better. You have experienced one treatment. When you experience a series, now we're really talking.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking.
I mean, I literally have seen cancer disappear or tumors disappear with one treatment. But the fact that the cancer has lost its energy to survive and grow doesn't mean that we don't continue with the other three.
Right.
And I'm given a very tough challenge right now. Today's been a rough day because a very close personal friend has had a devastating 24 hours, actually a week. And this is something that the healers of the world have to adjust to. You mind if we talk about it for a minute?
Yes, dear. I wanted you to bring up the modality that we are talking about, so people would be aware of that.
All right. It's called VFLE, standing for Vital Life Force Energy Therapy. Everything that we experience lives within a biofield, a bioenergetic field, be that it is human, animal, or plant. We're all the same, living energy. And we take away what is too much, and we add to what is not enough, creating a more harmonic resonance throughout the organism. We improve the auric field, try to remove the damages that life gives us in the auric field so that we don't leak our personal energy and we don't invite outside energies into our space. Because energy seeps both ways, and we have to repair all of that. I was given a challenge with a dear, very close friend, one that I would consider to be so close, she's like a sister to me. And she is in her 70s. And last week, she was complaining that she had a sinus infection, that she was dizzy, and that she was nauseous. She couldn't get to me. And we have 15 years of such a deep, close relationship that I went to her 4 consecutive nights. And each night I would relieve all her symptoms of nausea and dizziness, and she would become animated and happy and interactive. And by the next day I would go back and I would see that she slipped back into her nausea, her dizziness, and her listless state. And each day I would bring her back, and each day she would slip back into it. And I've accumulated such success that I had to say, what's wrong? What am I missing? I'm missing a diagnosis from a physician. I don't really know what I'm working with here. Maybe everything isn't just a sinus infection and a dizziness coming from sinus impacting the ears, as it well can do. Well, these two friends she and her partner got married 2 months ago, and yesterday they had scheduled a big event in a pavilion in a park with 3 massive barbecues going and a lot of work going on. And I arrived at noon and I found her slumped over on a table, a picnic table, with her head in her hands. And I whispered, "How are you?" And she said, "Bad, really bad." I said, "Can you swing around and I will give you a treatment right here?" And I treated her, and her white, pale skin became pink again, and her energy level started to come up, and she began to talk. And within a half hour, she lost it. She was back in the same situation all over again.
Mm.
And I went to her partner and I said, this is no place for her. She needs to be in an emergency room. And I don't care what you think of holistic doctors. She needs a real medical doctor and a hospital now. And I rattled her cage by making my words very strong, but I was not successful. And the nausea came back and the dizziness came back. And her partner kept saying, she's dehydrated, and I can't get her to drink. And look, I'm sitting here force feeding her water and she's getting color back in her skin. Well, I looked at her and she was as white as Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Oh. Oh my God.
And then she said, I'm so nauseous, I can't stand this. So her partner opened a zipper bag that was a cooler pack and took out a probiotic and fed her the probiotic. And I said, look they're fighting fire with matches. There's more to this than meets the eye. I know it. I just know it. I know it with the intuition of a healer. So I walked over and I did something contrary to what I would normally do. When somebody is sick, you don't add energy, you take some energy away. But I filled her with energy. And within 15 minutes, she began upchucking vehemently. They took her then, and they brought her to the emergency room. She was admitted as soon as they took the first films. Her brain is swelling.
Oh.
I'm sorry to hear that, Robert.
Today they got a diagnosis. She has lesions on the brain that are linked to lesions in her lungs. And they're cancerous.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't even know if she's going to make it to get out of there so that I can treat her again. Because knowing cancer, I can pull the energy out.
Yes.
No time. I have multiple occurrences of success in this area. But I don't have access.
Exactly.
You can't, they won't allow you to do your healing in the hospital, or?
Not in intensive care, and they would look at it as voodoo coming in there. You know how I have to work, and I have to put my hands over the heart and across the back. I have to have access. My arms are waving to open the aura. My arms are waving to close the aura. My arms are thrashing wildly to fill the body with energy or take it away. They wouldn't allow that in a hospital, not in an intensive care unit.
Oh my goodness. My goodness.
No.
This is Lucille?
Yes.
Oh. Well, do you know how she's doing right at the moment?
She's out of pain. I spoke with her today. She called me, actually.
Okay.
She was listless, but she's stoned, so to speak.
Yes.
But, a far better state to be in than to be in constant nausea and constant dizziness.
Mm.
She closed her eyes and she couldn't feel anything, and she feels better. She's not in pain.
Well, this is I find myself without words. That happens once in a while.
Well,
Um,
this is this is the quagmire for the healer.
yes.
When you know you have the ability to heal anything, and you can't do it for the people closest to you, it's a hurtful situation.
I sent you something on Facebook in response to your question about what is a healer, or what does a healer mean. I didn't know if you got a chance to read it.
Yeah, I did. Briefly, I was at it all day today.
Yeah.
I was teaching 2 new healers. I did a 4-hour class this morning,
Mm.
and I sent them out with their heads banging
Oh,
because in my classes we talk science.
okay.
We don't
Very
talk
good.
spirituality. We talk science because we have to track just like a physician. From a main diagnosis, we target the main problem, we treat it, and then we have to imagine the upheaval happening around the physiology created by that main problem, and we have to go and solve each of those steps. So it requires a rudimentary understanding of anatomy, physiology, disease progression. I had 2 brilliant students today, 2 brilliant students.
Wonderful.
They
When
kept
do
up.
I get to become, well, we'll discuss that later. You
Well,
will
when
appreciate.
I'm using this as a way of restructuring the education that I had because I didn't like the way it was delivered. It was harsh. It was hard. And I know it could be easier. So I've picked 2 people that can get there at a moment's notice. Their days are free. And I'm working with them to really learn how to teach this.
Mm.
I have to learn how to teach it.
Okay. You will appreciate Carl Jung's interpretation of Chiron. I always said Sharon, but it's Chiron, the wounded healer.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that was part of what I sent you on the Facebook
Yeah.
page. Yeah, it went deep. It's a research paper that's out of Africa, India. It's very good. But basically, you're doing the best that you can. And I know when you say healer, you're not trying to take over the
No.
sovereignty of
No.
someone else. That you don't mean it in
No.
the same.
Let me
I know
clarify
that.
that and rectify that right here and now.
Yes,
Healer
I know.
is a short answer description for what I am. It is an inaccurate term that is commonly used and commonly understood by the masses. But I can only heal myself. I'm a
Right.
conduit that extracts my power from spirit, redirects it into my subject, and they have to utilize that power to heal themselves. We can only heal ourselves. I just supply the power. And that is the accurate meaning of what I am doing.
It's channeling the power through. That's one
Exactly.
term. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we hold Lucille in the light, of course, and
Just let's
just
keep that here and between ourselves.
well, you're on
Yeah, I
YouTube
know.
right now. Yeah, you're kind of in the midst of it, and so but but in the light is the light. Um, what we were going to, or what I had suggested from last week, is that we get started on narrator's fifth interview. And I knew that Sherry wanted to get really into that. She said she's running late. She had to go pick up her daughter.
Wow.
Reverend Sharon is running late. She has another appointment that's overlapping. I think Vaughn called me, but he didn't leave a message. So I'm assuming that he's late wherever he is also. So, and Henry may be in the audience. That might be him. I spoke with him earlier. He's having a little issue with getting into the studio though, but he's very interested in knowing, or at least hearing about the fifth interview. So you have the floor as far as the fifth interview is concerned. Nelia, did you have a question on the fifth interview?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Okay. So, well, I remember calling you when I first read the fifth interview, it was a while ago, but still. And I was excited because of some of the things that the doctor said, uh, leading back to the importance or the significance of the wing makers and what's going on right now. Right now, and I've been telling everybody about it, my little friend in Australia, who's been trying to get me to move to Australia, says that the Nibiru, is that the name of the planet? Is
Nibiru.
Nibiru, okay. Today is supposed to be the end of the world again.
Oh,
Because,
Oh, gosh.
again, is that the third time this month or am I losing count?
Ay, look, forget it. Don't count.
Okay. And what he was saying, or what he was interested in basically, is that it's going to just,
Besides a place to hide.
besides the place to hide, is how that connects with the wing makers.
all right. Let's admit to ourselves that this topic is so huge that it cannot all be accomplished in one night, in one discussion.
Okay.
So let's begin with a little reading, which I am happy to do. And I have it up on the screen in front of me. But it's a topic that we already contain certain aspects of this. We already contain certain knowledge pertaining to this issue.
Mm-hmm.
So from the introduction, the fifth interview of Dr. Jameson Neruda exposes a fundamental deception that affects humanity across every dimension of life. This deception is that our three-dimensional reality and human consciousness have been programmed to be perceived as real when they are not. Let me stop right there, because as the author states, it's a very bold assertion, and it is not made lightly. But most spiritual people realize that the three-dimensional world that we live in is illusion.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's been manipulated for a variety of reasons, but it gives us an opportunity for grounding and the opportunity to strive for understanding that is beyond the obvious. So in the fifth interview, Dr. Neruda explains the forces behind the deception, what their agenda is, how humanity has been enslaved from its inception to today, and what we can do about it. It is, understandably, an unsettling narrative. After all, it exposes a reality where humans are biological hosts of infinite beings suppressed by deceptive programs designed by entities from a different dimension. Humanity is unaware that we live in a designed reality, and that designed reality includes everything. Well, I'm going to take the topic we just discussed about healing and apply it to this paragraph, because
Okay.
in it is a tremendous lesson. When I first became a healer, I had a dream. Thank you, Dr. King.
Mm.
I had a dream, and it was a great dream. And that dream was to have and possess the skill and the knowledge to defeat disease on all levels, be it natural disease process or acquired disease process or birth defect. I don't like any of it. I believe that every individual contains the spark of creation and the spirit of creator. And as such, we are destined to live for a time and then move into the spirit realm. But during that process, disease can be called to a halt, should be able to be called to a halt, and every woe wiped from the brow of every person so that they can live not only with health, but with joy. Are we agreed on this?
We are definitely agreed, my friend.
Yes.
All right. So we had ascension events that happened in 2012 when we were first told we're going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to be ascended beings with nature. It didn't happen. And then we had a blue moon and we had a blood moon and we had planets lining up and so many full moons that were supposed to be sending waves of knowledge to Earth. And we would be going through growing pains, but the veil would get thinner and thinner and thinner. And I said, it eludes me. I have no evidence that this is happening. And yet, from one week to the next, I found myself in Europe finishing the study on something that my guides began in me. And at the very end of it, they told me, go to the edge of the lake, take off your shoes and socks, and put your feet in the water. And for the next 90 minutes, my feet were burning and feeling like they were electrocuted. But a transformation happened. And I came out of it with a confidence that I've never had. I have no shame in me. I have humility, but I also have an arrogance against disease.
Yes.
I will rip it from its roots and I will disperse it in the air so that it can rejoin balance as it dissipates. That is the gift coming to humanity from all these events. You see, the veil is getting thinner. And truth will come upon us in waves. But we may go through long periods of dry spells, and suddenly one day something will alter that reality, and we will see a huge shift within us that alludes to this veil of lie and deceit isn't truth. It's illusion. It is a veil placed before our eyes that is deceiving us, because now I've witnessed the autistic child become functional. I have watched the stroke patient open their hand when medicine failed to rehabilitate it. I have seen the weak cardiac patient who needed to be supported under both arms begin to walk autonomously. While his wife, the chief cardiologist in the nation I was visiting, brought him there for healing. She admitted openly that they had run the gamut and had no hope. So as a last chance, they turned to healing. And I saw, one day only, I saw an extraordinary change. So the next day, she showed up with the husband and her dog and said, "Can you treat him too?" That's a humbling acceptance.
Yes.
When you're a person of science. And
But
it's a foretelling of things to come.
I was about to say, it's the time. What is it? The time has come, the walrus said, to speak of many things.
Yeah.
Mr. Murphy is with us. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Vaughn? Hello? Hello? Perhaps he's meditating. And Nelia, did you have something you would like to ask, or something you'd like to say? Oops.
No, I'm here. I have a question that I'm kind of, I feel silly asking, but if this moon is artificial, how does this cause all this change if it's artificial?
The moon?
Mm-hmm.
I, myself, the jury is out in my mind as to whether the moon is artificial or not.
But you were at the lecture that Dr. Ayala gave.
Yep.
Yeah,
I literally stopped going to full moon beach gatherings.
Yeah.
Of chanting and fire and so on and so forth. And I thought, oh, thank God. One less thing to do besides it's just a satellite. But whatever it is, satellite or real planet, it is such a massive stationary force in our closest proximity within this solar system. We never see its dark side unless we get a satellite beyond it looking back at the dark side. And the pictures that satellite can produce of the dark side of the moon are precious few. We're restricted from seeing it. So whether it is satellite or real makes no real difference. It is large, so massive that it has a profound effect upon the tides and upon the earth itself, the soil, the volcanoes. It is a force to be reckoned with.
Now, following your train of thought, what you said a little while ago about the deceit and the mass deception.
Yes.
A satellite that would be of that magnitude could be used to help maintain the matrix that we're experiencing. We feel and see an ebb in the tides. We experience certain, I know of people who swear that uh, when the moon is in whatever what is it saying? When the moon is in the seventh house. Okay, I'm being a little facetious there, but you get my point. The As far as how they respond or how we perceive what the moon does, is it possible? Well, I'm sure it is possible that this is uh, pre-orchestrated through technology to give us the impression that the moon, there's new moon and there's full moon and there's etc. Everything is responding as according to tides and flow and etc. As a matrix, as a program, software program, you can program into a computer any response, any reaction that you desire. All you have to do is flick a switch. So is it quite possible, at least probable, that that is part of what this program is coming from the moon?
Well, it is possible. First of all, let's look at what we were taught by our dear friend, Dr. Ayala. That the moon is not just a satellite, it is also home to the groups of friendly and non-friendly foreign extraterrestrial life.
Mm-hmm.
They all have their camps, and they have the building where they come together as a congress.
Mm-hmm.
They neither join us to teach us nor interfere directly with life. Although we must realize that moving from the landline telephone to the smartphone of today was really incomprehensibly engineered by a reliance taken from foreign extraterrestrial sources. Reverse engineering.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't have happened in such a short period of time that we went from landline to a smartphone that has 3 times to 5 times the power that drove the first spaceship to that moon, if in fact it really happened. I don't play the game. I don't try and figure it out. I'm not in a position to prove or disprove whether there was really a moonwalk or was it done in a Hollywood studio. I don't know, and frankly, I haven't been able to care. I don't have the time to care. But how do we come to know a truth when we're in this matrix? How do we come to know that there is really more to life? How do we reach beyond this human state to join the freedom of brotherhood, sisterhood, a filial bond with people from other faraway lands or other dimensions?
Well, that would go back to the Lyricus group and the 6 virtues, wouldn't it?
Yes. But that's what we put into one another to create peace and harmony where there is none. But what do we use as a tool right now, today, to reach beyond this matrix and gain knowledge and confidence that we're existing in a matrix and there is so much more to gain from our existence? What are the tools?
For me, the tool is meditation.
Plain and simple. Reach beyond, turn within, reach your higher self, and join life from within, from higher self. That place within that knows truth and knows everything.
I think that
He's
there
speaking.
is a greater point being made within all of this discussion.
Okay.
As we live a part of creation, beings with an existence, whether we look at it from the perspective of the level of the matrix, or we level up beyond it and we look at it from a cosmic level, or we level up beyond that and we look at it from a source level, I think that what's important is for us to recognize that there is an infinite number of directions that we can go in search of knowledge and understanding. But the question really becomes, what is the purpose? As to whether or not the moon is man-made or it is a celestial creation, we could speculate forever on those types of facts and that type of information. But what does that really do for us? What does it do for you, the individual? What does it do for the collective consciousness? For me, I see not so much value as opposed to recognizing the direction to go in terms of the truth is within. The information and the exploration and the questioning should be from the journey within, and not so much of all of the information or misinformation and the illusion of the external world that we are engaging in and we're experiencing, and we're getting all of the stimuli coming back. Because it's only in the knowledge of self are we able to discern within the knowledge of the outer world of existence. It's only in first developing the healthy relationship, the healing at the base level of mind, body, and soul, the point of origin, that we can then begin to extrapolate out towards even our own tribal experiences and our relationships within the family unit, to beyond that, the community that we live in, to beyond that, the nation, to beyond that, the planet. So we can get lost very easily in the minutia of information about the perception of the physical world, the moon, the stars, what is, what isn't. And that, because it's infinite, can be something that we can get lost in very easily. However, to the contrary, the solution is to go within. And so the point of meditation, absolutely, it is a discipline that allows us to develop the experience of self-observation, and over time, self-knowledge and understanding, and over time, self-mastery. And that, I think, is where we will find the greatest reward of our efforts. That is where I think we will find the greatest impact that we can have in terms of healing, not just ourselves, but the world or the collective consciousness of which we are a part. And it is even more critical at this time of the apocalypse, the unveiling of that which has been hidden. And we see that the resonance has created such disruption in all of the systems, whether we look at the political systems, whether we look at the weather systems, all of the different systems that are a part of the construct that we experience this thing called life. We see that there's great change happening. But the importance is for each of us to take the responsibility to connect with our own true original nature, because therein lies the key to everything and all things that we talk about. It's the point in which we came in, and it's the point in which we can go out.
I totally agree with you, Vaughn. I'm very proud of you for stating what you have stated here.
Well done. Sister Sherry is with us. Sherry, did you have a question?
No, I just came in, so I don't know what you. I missed the conversation. Sorry.
Oh no, you missed nothing, my
Replay or
dear.
whatever, and yeah, check it out later because I don't sentence.
It's
Sure.
quite all right.
Sherry,
Hi, Robert.
it's so wonderful to see you. God, I miss you, honey.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, me too. I'll have to make another trek up soon.
And I love seeing that smile.
Thank you.
Okay.
One of the things that I find is becoming more and more prevalent, more and more clear, is that the issue, the entry point to a lot of the challenges that we face as a collective really starts with the mind. There is, I think, a growing, however somewhat limited understanding we have of the mind and its importance and what it means to be healthy. Within that conversation, we can introduce the concept of misinformation, or the concept of the matrix, and even the conversation of the moon and what is it and what's really going on and all of these things. We realize how all of this creates distractions and confusion and chaos. And it happens on every level. You turn on the news and you see this theater that's playing out.
Mm.
You turn the TV on and you're looking at the most popular shows and you see this whole construct, this distraction, this entertainment that it's
Is that what you call it?
misleading. Yeah. And as a result of all of this, there is such mental illness.
Yes.
Agreed.
And it manifests itself in all of these different areas, you know, that we think of as being real issues, as, for example, racism, sexism. You know, you turn the TV on, you look at the internet, and there's all this information about rape and what's been going on in Hollywood. Or there's all this information and all this emotional turmoil within society with the issue of racial injustice and stuff with the NFL and the presidency, and there's all of this confusion and all this chaos. And the thing about it is that all of this stuff draws everyone in on an emotional level. And it creates confusion, and it creates division, and it creates separation. And it allows for the human spirit to be dumbed down, to be conquered, to be led, to be manipulated.
Vaughn, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Do you not have faith in the 99 monkey theory?
Not only do I have faith in the 99 monkey theory, I have faith in the 2% theory, and that is that in order for there to be an infectious impact within the collective consciousness, you need about 2% of humanity to be exposed to the information or to be awakened to the information, to be enlightened, in order for it to begin to take root within the whole collective. So, as you say, I do see that the veil is being, it's being, things are being dissolved. I see a lot of movement. I see a lot of great things. And I see that there's a lot for us to be appreciative of.
Yes.
The president that we have right now, as embattled as he may be, and as negative as his presidency may seem to be, there is a great deal of goodness that is coming from this.
Would you care to elucidate for me? Bring me peace, my brother. Your words are encouraging.
There is. No, I think. No, the reason that I'm laughing, and I'm laughing as I'm saying this, is that, it depends on what arc of time and space we're looking at, right? If you have a viral infection, if you have a flu, if you come down with the flu, and you're experiencing the fever and the sweating and all this stuff that's going on in the body that makes you uncomfortable, it's just that. It's uncomfortable. It's unpleasant. And we're not happy.
I have a solution.
But it's not the whole picture. Because there's a reason for this discomfort. There's a reason for this unhappiness and that we're experiencing at the time. And that is the transition of the process, the healing that's taking place.
It is a purging going on.
Exactly.
But I do wish that I had a camera for your face, Robert. I wish I'd had a camera for your face. But purification, detoxing, is a laborious task. The body has to yield poisons that have accumulated for who knows how long. This country has accumulated a lot of poisons.
Well, you look at I agree with you, but you look at the archetypes of the behaviors that we're seeing, and one of the themes that I think is prevalent that I see is what I would describe as the boy-man syndrome, where we have within society a lot of grown men who have achieved things in life on a material plane, whether it be great financial wealth or great political influence or these types of things. And yet you see in their behavior or their expression, the way that they wield this power, you see that essentially they're still operating from the construct of some sort of a childhood, limited, framework. Right? No, what I'm not. But the point I'm making is,
I'm laughing at Robert's facial features.
Yeah, it's not limited to. It's not. Look, the point I'm making is that what this is, it's a reflection of our society. It is where we are. It's what's happening. This is a part of the collective disease. And the beauty of it is that it's in front of our face. And we're facing all of it, and all of the discomfort that comes with it. And no matter who we are, in some way, shape, or form, we are affected by it, and it forces us no matter if we are aware of it or not, it forces us to begin to question our own thoughts and our own feelings, and it causes us to begin to look at ourselves at an even deeper level. I do not know of any better way to bring about a greater change or an elevation or ascension of the collective consciousness, but to have that sort of experience be rippling through the entire society on a global scale.
I see exactly where you're going with this, and if I may interject, when Mahatma Gandhi appeared,
Oh, you
yeah,
pulled it from my mind.
I did.
You pulled it
He
from
is,
my mind.
he's
Please
one of
don't.
he's one of my spiritual guides, and so he's with me a lot. But a lot of people did not understand how he was a paradigm shift, because a lot of people died following his lead in trying to free India from England. However, if you look at and his entire dialogue of non-resistance, how else could he have done it? If he had taken the country to war, India would have lost. It
Well,
was done exactly.
not only that, but you, the thing is that you can't, if you really want to solve something at the root level, you cannot fight it on its own plane. In other words, you can't use fire to fight fire. You can't use water to fight water, because all you're doing is just increasing the element and the nature of that conflict, of that disease. So the way that you solve, if you really want to address hatred, then you have to really be able to resonate from a place of love, but not from a cliche-ish perspective where all is love and I love everybody, that kind of a thing, because we understand that love also means that there is a time and place for everything under the sun.
Exactly.
So there is a place for tough love, so to speak, as we know it. Okay. But the point I'm making is that regardless of what or how we are experiencing our own participation within all of this collective, at the end of the day, we each have a responsibility. And that responsibility is to realizing our true primordial destiny. We cannot achieve that by seeking for things within the world. We will gain access to everything within the world if we first develop the understanding, the knowledge, the wisdom that is the essence of all creation. That is our essence. That is beyond all of the emotions that I can have and the thoughts that I can have and the things that I can experience and what I see around me in the world. That's where it's really at.
Before I close out this evening, because it's 9:47, and I promised to Robert 9:30, and I don't want you to overwork yourself. You've had a very, very difficult week, my friend. And I'm going to try and come out to you this coming Sunday.
Oh.
Yes, at 1 p.m.
I'll give you 2 healings in one day. How's that?
Just being in your aura is healing enough. But
I love you, darling. I love you very much.
Oh, I love you too. Okay, we got a romance going here, guys. You guys are gonna have to sign up. No, I'm kidding. But Robert knows I love him very much. Um, just in the interest of, or in the defense of, and there's no defense really needed. The emperor has on no clothes. Okay, and that, in my saying that, as far as whether or not the moon is real, or whether or not the matrix is real, or the holographic images are real, the process of going through recognizing these things that are not actually real is going to, at some point, bring about an awareness, a realization that something is going on. There are still quite a few people that are not yet coming out of slumber. It's taking them a moment, and we can't force them. They
Direct
have
them
to.
to me for healings. I'll wake them out of their slumber. Physical, emotional, and spiritual healings.
Yes, yes, I know you will. But some people wake up quickly. Some, so it's really dependent upon so many things,
Do you know?
as Vaughn said. But it's just to recognize these things. For instance, uh, one of the programs, one of the paradigms that has been run on humanity is that as you reach a certain age, you're going to get this disease and that disease and et cetera, et cetera. And then you've got 70 and you're gone. Who is the originator of this mess? Okay. How do we know that the illnesses are not a part of our spirit evolving and ascending? And instead of encouraging, oh, you've got to take pills, et cetera, you've got to get on Medicare and all this, instead of promoting, this is what happens as you reach a higher level of awareness and consciousness and ascension, so that a person's body is there. It's quite possible for them to take the body with them if they are focused on meditating and keeping aligned. This is one of my personal things, but that's a whole hoodwink job that's gone on. There are people who expect to have illnesses as they turn certain ages, and they just fall right into it, and it becomes a part of their life, a part of their acceptance. I think it's unnecessary. I think it's been proven that it's unnecessary. However, again, you cannot force someone to take on what you believe, and you cannot force someone, even if it's the truth, to accept what you consider to be the truth. So, that being said, I just threw out another one. Anybody, everybody?
I've got to speak to that. You know,
Okay.
I have the ability to heal this, and I have the ability to heal that through the gift of spirit moving through me and directing that power into a human being. What I can't do is I can't tell them how to use the power I transfer to them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell them which organ to heal and which to ignore. I may send healing power to an ailing heart, and that body might choose to direct that power to an ailing kidney.
Mm.
They become the custodian of what I transfer to them.
Excellent point.
But
Excellent point.
and the other thing I have to accept is I have a friend who was a friend of mine from my high school days. He lives 2 towns away from me, 3 towns away from me. He suffers with a very severe disease. He suffers from AIDS.
Mm.
He's beginning to lose his battle. I've said to him, I'll come and pick you up. Come to me. Let me help you succeed and win over disease. Let me move that power of spirit into you so you can become well again. He thinks I'm out of my freaking mind. And he won't lift a finger to call and make an appointment. You see, I can take a horse to water, I can't make it drink.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
can't lift a finger to heal somebody unless they say yes, pick up the phone, make the appointments for 4 consecutive days, and let me do my job. And I have to be at peace with it. It's hard.
Yes.
I say, you know what? You're human. You have the spark of the divine in you. You don't have to accept disease.
Definitely.
But they choose it because it is their path. It is their way. And
You
they
know, Robert,
don't want to heal.
you know, Robert, he thinks that you're out of your mind. That statement, I think, is very interesting and very telling. And I say that for 2 reasons. One, because each one of us is the healer.
Yes.
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 And second of all, we are all mirrors. So when he looks at you or what you're proposing and he sees it as being out of your mind, it's really the fact that he is out of his mind is what he's seeing.
Yes.
Now,
Agreed.
it goes back to what I was saying earlier, and I think, Reverend Sharon, you're making a good point. All disease is a construct of the mind. It first starts at some level within the mind, and usually it comes out of the subconscious. Now, we can help each other because if we understand that all is energy and we have some knowledge, understanding, and facility with that, you know, there's all of these traditions in Asia and the understanding of the use of chi or ki or prana in the Hindu or Indian traditions, or you know, that sort of thing. So we understand how this can be used to assist in shifting and releasing blockages within the meridians, within the body, within the energetic anatomy of the human being. And so how there might be instances where we can offer, you know, somewhat of an ease from the disease that the individual being may be experiencing. However, the ultimate level of healing lies with the individual. And it first starts with how our mind is informed. And if our mind is misinformed, then we're going to be operating from a misinformed construct or paradigm. And if that paradigm is so faulty or is so flawed relative to the truth, if we are living outside of alignment, then we will suffer. And it will manifest in the forms of cancer or you know, all of the different ailments and whatnot that we experience today. So the importance is in terms of when we talk about the ascension or the awakening, is for mankind to begin to understand on a collective level just who and what we really are. It's a point of where the concept of self-mastery should not be somewhat of a process of self-actualization, but maybe even the foundation of the way humanity structures its educational system and and all of the other systems that we are a part of. Because if we were functioning at a higher level of consciousness, then it means that the entire experience for everyone will be better. If we understood that we are living in a universe that is ever expanding, that it's the concept of supply and demand and scarcity is you know, it's just that, it's a concept, it's an idea, but it's not necessarily based in the axiomatic truth, which is that of abundance. Then maybe we wouldn't have as much fear. Maybe I would not look at you as a threat of taking my women, Robert, and my jobs. You know, maybe we wouldn't feel the need to build walls, but we would see the beauty in being able to facilitate, you know, more opportunity and greater growth. Maybe we'll begin to understand that, you know, all of the things that we try to hold on to, the more we try to hold on, the more we keep our fists closed and our minds and our hearts closed, trying to hold on and grab on, that we keep ourselves shut off and limited to the concept of abundance and that which is so much more. So again, the healer is the individual that needs to be healed. We are all our own healers, and
Absolutely.
that is where that responsibility lies.
Absolutely.
We are each Chiron. I wanted to say, and then yes, I'm sealing it. I'm calling it. I'm closing it down, but not to bring up religiosity. But I did want to bring out one of my favorite stories from the book that I constantly pummel, theoretically pummel. According to certain chapters, as Yeshua, the master, was walking in the crowd, he stopped and said, "Who touched me?" Okay. And of course, it was, as we, those who are familiar with the story, it was the woman with the issue of blood.
Hemorrhaging.
And yes,
And
and
he accused her of taking his power.
she believed that in simply touching the hem of his garment, not even touching his physical self, just something that was near him or on him, she would regain her health. To me, that story has always been very powerful, because if she did not believe that, why touch? Okay. And when I say why touch, the power was not necessarily, oh, I got the power. The power was within her, her belief that all she had to do was touch a piece of cloth.
It was also beyond that. Because when she touched the hem of his garment, what was she in?
You mean her state of mind?
No. What was she entering?
Ah, his auric field.
And that auric field was so charged and so superior to the average individual that just entering it, touching that auric field, healed her bioenergy instantaneously, and she experienced a metamorphosis. She was healed.
But again, she was open to the healing. Your friend is not open to a healing, so he could come to visit you and nothing would happen.
She wants, yes, she wants the healing. She entered his aura field. She received goodness from it. She was transformed and she was healed because that's what she was seeking.
That's what she was seeking.
Well, again, goes back to my statement. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make them
Yeah.
drink.
So, in other words, your friend calling you crazy. He
No, he
doesn't.
doesn't call me crazy. He thinks
Well,
it
he thinks.
because I'm psychic.
Oh, but we know, we know. Okay, no one else. Any more questions? Right? We're done for the evening. Right? We didn't delve into narrator's fifth interview as much as we could have, but then Monday comes again. We'll have another one. And you, Robert, said that there was how many sessions that we needed to go through?
Oh, it's going to be long and arduous. We made it through 2 paragraphs of the introduction.
Okay.
I don't care how many it takes. Listen, it's a pleasure to be here in good company. It's a
Oh.
pleasure to strive to learn and understand ourselves and grow together. And we don't have to be an NBA player that kneels on one knee. And although I don't love him, I don't have to throw rotten tomatoes at my president. I only made one political post this week, and it was really in humor. I shared a cartoon of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. The only political post I've made in weeks because I'm so consumed with healing. It is my entire being.
And nothing else will begin to matter.
And nothing else matters.
Ah,
I have found a newfound power within me, and I wish to share it with humanity, as many as I possibly can.
I know the feeling, my love.
Yeah.
And Sunday, oh yeah. Well, you've got activities going on throughout the week. Speak to us now.
Oh, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even look at my calendar anymore because all I look at is what time do I have to be in tomorrow? I have to be in at 11:30 because that's my first healing, and I will move throughout my day doing my best for my brothers and my sisters who give their time and their hopes and their dreams to me to encourage them, to help them, to share the power I collect with them, and help direct it to the area where they need it the most.
Amen. Okay, on Sunday, is it you're going to open up at 1? And I'm going to try to be there at 1.
Mhm.
And I might be meeting someone there. Another shaman friend of mine. I've been trying to get you and she together for a while, Melvina. And Nelia says she might come.
Oh, Nelia, I hope so.
Nelia, did you hear that? Oh, and she's got sick puppies she's working with. Sister Sherry.
Yes.
Yes, you've been quiet, but that's okay. We are signing off now.
Okay.
Anything, final word? You're done. Okay. And Vaughn, Brother Vaughn, it was a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining us. And how I am going to close out this evening is that we simply take a deep breath. You know how I feel about Om Namah Shivaya, but I won't subject you to that this evening. I will ask you to do the Om at the surrounding sound of my little bell. And I love you. I hold every single soul who has had the opportunity or will have the opportunity to feel the frequency of this love. God bless you.
God bless you.
I am, we are. Om Shanti Shanti. Namaste.
Namaste.
And now I can, as I'm going out of the studio, I can do my